Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Silent Flautist tutorial series. I am Vivek, aka the Silent Flautist. In the previous video, I introduced to you the Bhoop Raag or Raga Bhoop. We saw that the Aroha Avroha of this Raag is Sa Re Ga Pa Dha Sa Sa Da Pa Ga Re Sa. The Vadi is the Gandhar and the Samvadi is the Dhaivat. The Thaat of this Raag is Kalyan and the Jati is Audav Audav. The time of this Raga is supposed to be the early evening between 6 pm to 9 pm. It is also called the first Prahar of the night time. The notes that are absent or Varjit Swar are Madhyam and Nishad. With this knowledge, I also presented to you last time a composition in Raga Bhoop. If you haven't watched it, you can go back and watch it. I'll link it here. Now in today's video, I am covering two main topics. The first one is the concept of Taal and the second one is the composition itself. With the concept of the Taal, I will also be covering the Teentaal, the first basic rhythmic cycle of 16 beats. So let's get to it. What is a Taal? A Taal, as I've already said before, is a rhythmic cycle. To understand a rhythmic cycle, we first have to understand what is a rhythm and second, what is a beat. Let's start with the concept of a beat. A beat in Sanskrit is called as a Maatra. The word Maatra literally translates to portion or proportion. So a beat or a Maatra is nothing but a specialized portion of time that is used in music. And a rhythm or a rhythmic cycle is nothing but the way of keeping time for music. Now this might sound a little too abstract and scientific to understand. But then there is an easier way of understanding it. Let's develop a rhythmic cycle or a rhythm first. Let's start with the simplest thing that we can do with our hands. We can clap. Let's clap once. Now this one clap in itself makes no sense, it's just a sound. But when these claps are repeated over and over again in regular intervals, they may form a rhythm. Let's try. You see the emerging pattern? Now these claps were spaced at regular intervals. What if we don't space it at regular intervals and slightly shift the weightage of these claps? How about this? Does this also make a pattern? Yes, it does. So these patterns can be said as rhythms. But we can't really call them as cycles. You know why? Because a cycle, by the definition of it, has to come about as a circle. There has to be a start, there has to be a finite end, and it has to repeat every time the cycle goes about. Now these claps do not have a head or tail. You don't know where they start. You don't know how they are accented. You don't know how many beats are there. So in order to figure this out, we do something very simple. Every section will have a certain number of beats. and a certain number of sections will form a rhythmic cycle. We will have two kinds of identifications. One is a clap and one is a no clap. The clap is called Taali and the no clap section will be called Khaali. Now, the first beat of every section will have either a Taali or a Khaali, and the rest of the beats will be counted on the fingers. Let's see this with the help of an example. This right here is the Teentaal or Teentaal. It is a rhythmic cycle of 16 beats. It is divided into 4 sections of 4 beats each. The sections 1 and 2 start with a clap. The third section starts with a no clap, which is a Khaali. The fourth section has a clap again. So with a no clap, you know that you have reached the 9th beat. Let me clap and then count with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No clap 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No clap 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. You see how I stopped at 1 and I didn't stop at 16? That is because one Maatra or one beat is not a single clap. It is basically the time in between two claps. Hence, when we have completed 16 claps, we have basically completed 15 intervals. In order to complete 16 beats, we have to complete 17 claps. That is why I stopped at 1. The first beat has a lot of importance in Indian classical music. The act of coming to the first beat after completing a cycle is called Sama. There is one more important beat. The beat that divides a rhythmic cycle into 2 equal halves is called Kaal. Please don't confuse this with Khaali. Khaali means the beat without a clap. The beat with a clap is called Taali. The beat without a clap is called Khaali. And the beat that divides the rhythmic cycle into exactly 2 equal halves is called Kaal. Just like we have swara for melody, rhythm has bol, which arise out of the instrument called a tabla. This you see right here is a tabla. This is the right side, which is called the tabla, and the left hand side drum, which is a bigger drum, a bassy drum called the dagga or maya. Now together as a pair, they make the tabla. We will very soon have a live session and a demonstration of how the tabla works from an expert tabla player. But till then, let's continue with the bowl of the Teentaal. This is how the Teentaal is. Dha, dhin, dhin, dha. Dha, dhin, dhin, dha. Dha, tin, tin, ta. Ta, dhin, dhin, dha, dha. So let us do this with the claps. Dha, din, din, dha. Dha, din, din, dha. Dha, tin, tin, ta. Ta, din, din, dha. Dha, din, din, dha. Dha, din, din, dha. Dha, tin, tin, ta. Ta, din, din, dha, dha. So this is all about the Teentaal. With this understanding, let us go to our composition in Raag Bhoopali. This composition is based on the Teentaal. We'll be going slow for this composition. I'll start by dividing it into sections of 8 beats each. So that you can go slow, I can sing it and you can play along with it. and then we'll play it without having the hand positions as the cue. This should be fun. Let us start. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re, ga ga pa ga re sa, dha sa dha pa ga re sa re, ga ga pa ga re sa, sa re ga pa dha, ga pa dha pa ga re sa, sa re ga pa dha, ga pa dha pa ga re sa, ga 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 pa dha pa, sa 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 dha re sa, ga 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 pa dha pa, sa 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 dha re sa, ga ga re sa re sa dha, sa dha pa ga re sa, ga ga re sa re sa dha, sa dha pa ga re sa, dha sa dha pa ga re sa re, ga ga pa ga re sa. Superb! Brilliant job! I'm sure you're getting a hang of it. Now let us try this again with the complete line and the rhythm. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re, ga ga pa ga re sa, dha sa dha pa ga re sa re, ga ga pa ga re sa, sa re ga pa dha pa ga re sa, sa re ga pa dha pa ga re sa, ga 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 pa dha pa sa sa da re sa, ga 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 pa da pa sa dha re sa, ga ga re sa dha sa da pa ga re sa, ga ga re sa da pa ga re sa. ga ga re sa re re sa da pa ga re sa. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re ga ga pa ga re sa. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re. Dha sa dha pa ga re sa re ga. Isn't it a beautiful composition? We have played this at 120 beats per minute and we are using the A scale. These settings are necessary when you are practicing alone without this play along video. The description has the link to the downloads page where you can download this composition and the Bhoop Raag's information. You can keep it for your own understanding and practice it at your own pace. That's all for today, guys. The only way that I can keep making these videos sustainably is through your support. If you love the content that I make and you're enjoying the process of learning, then I suggest you take memberships on Patreon. Your support on Patreon will definitely help me a lot. At the same time, members get exclusive benefits like better downloads, exclusive compositions, more unlisted play-along videos, and a monthly Google Meet, and so much more. Or else you can consider making me a one-time contribution through any of these methods mentioned here. I am there on PayPal too. Or else, please like this video, leave a comment down here, and share it with a friend who is learning the flute. It will definitely help them. Make sure you click on the subscribe button and that little bell icon, because every time you get a notification to learn something new, it will make me extremely happy. Thank you so much, guys. See you again next week with another new video. The Silent Flautist signing off for now.